And Harry Potter was like a pivotal thing, you know, like doing them and sitting and like learning about Harry and like what he was going through. Like it was very...
Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mentally Gone Reacts. My name is Callie Lacerda.
And I'm Gabriella Loves.
And today we bring to you the Harry Potter reunion. Why does Voldemort always sound like he's in so much pain?
Hey!
Hey!
Harry Potter is dead.
The boy who lived come to die. He just sounds like he's always in pain.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We are back diving deep headfirst into the Harry Potter universe. With the 20th anniversary reunion. Before we get into it, I just also want to point out something really quickly before I forget. We will be launching the official podcast for this channel.
Yes.
Very soon in the coming days. And we will be launching a gaming series on this channel.
Yes.
And the first game will be... Hogwarts Legacy. So expect that. Expect us discussing more Harry Potter stuff on the podcast. Expect a full playthrough, a full walkthrough of Hogwarts Legacy coming up soon on this channel, so you don't have to go anywhere else. We're going to keep everything on this channel. We were kind of like thinking about do you start a new channel for this because it's different than reactions, but then we realized, you know what, just do it all here. You know, just keep it all here, keep it all on the channel. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. And we're going to do books on this channel too.
Books will be discussed on the podcast. And that's one of the reasons, because then it'll be like a multi-purpose podcast that some episodes will be just a seamless and a free flow stream of consciousness, if you will. Like no script, unscripted. Everything is completely unscripted. I don't believe in scripts. I used to work a job where you had to read off of a script in order to communicate with people, and years of my life just soul numbing, just wanting to get the keyboard and smash it on my forehead sometimes. I swear on everything. There were times where I would like secretly like just ball my fist up just like that Arthur meme.
Yeah.
Good morning, how's everybody doing today? Everybody's good? Yeah? Everything good? So my point is, I hate scripts, and that's why even this intro right now, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun and it feels good, and that's what we're gonna continue. And that's what we're gonna continue doing on this channel until the end of times.
Yes.
So if you don't like it, mate, I'm gonna have to ask you to excuse my English accent and ask you to be removed from the brothel.
I thought we put chapters on our videos though, right?
No,
like
we did not.
We don't put like a thing that separates the intro from the...
Oh, we do intros, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We do.
We do. So
we do, just like you
guys
do,
could
I
always
do.
just click right past this intro.
Yeah, people still complain though.
whatever you want, you know?
What's in here?
What's in here is Harry Potter's wand from the end of the movie.
Yeah.
When he snaps an app. But here... it's the Elder Wand.
This wand has been passed around more than the Kardashians. It's true.
Gosh.
It's true.
Oh my gosh.
We also have another item to showcase to you guys.
Oh, yes.
We got this off of a Etsy shop. I do not remember what the name was, but it arrived a few days ago. We had ordered it. Damn, Etsy takes a long time, right?
Yeah, it takes like
weeks after we did the finale. This thing finally came in, and we thought we got scammed, but oops.
Bless you. Anyways,
I don't know what that was. I don't know. Harry Potter, and then we have up here a picture of Dumbledore, and we have the quote, "Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one only remembers to turn on the light." Albus Dumbledore. And then in the back we have Hermione, Harry, Ron.
The Golden Trio.
Golden Trio. And then on the cover we have Hogwarts itself and a bunch of disclaimers on the bottom, but let's hear the little music of it.
Nice.
Copyright.
Woohoo!
YouTube is like copyright.
What, that would count?
I don't know.
Oh my
YouTube
gosh.
is so annoying, dude.
Anyways.
Okay. So anything else?
And you got this hat. Don't forget.
The Potter hat.
You got your Potter hat, and then I have the Potter sweatshirt that he was wearing the last time. And we have our wands, and we're gonna watch, and we're excited. We're gonna see this reunion. It's gonna be fun.
Reunion, 20-year reunion came out in 2022.
Years.
Like when everybody was already drowning in the pandemic.
Yeah, and in their 30s, right? Like they're already in their 30s now.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Oh man.
Oof, it like makes me feel really, 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 really like existential about like life. Because like you like follow these people throughout their journey, right?
Yeah.
And then you see them again in current times, and then you're like, oh, you're basically the age of my dad. Like you're my dad's age, my uncle's age or something, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not just these like kids finding themselves anymore. It's like it gets real quick, and that's life.
And we know that like a few of the actors also passed away, so that's gonna be interesting and like sad to kind of like dig up if they, mention it, obviously.
It's Albus Dumbledore, Snape, Hagrid, and probably a few others, right?
Yeah. Well, I think the Hagrid's actor passed away more recently. I
don't know. Like that's what people said.
But anyways, yeah, like I'm just excited to see them reunite though. It's gonna be really nice.
I think it's going to be bloody brilliant.
And get to see like some behind the scenes, hopefully, see things like that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, like the whole experience of working on that thing, you know?
Man, 20 years.
Dedicating your life, how it affects your immediate social, life.
Yeah.
As kids, probably homeschooled, probably learning in trailers outside of Hollywood studios or wherever this was filmed.
Oh, I definitely got a little existential there after mentioning the whole passing thing, but we should just be excited. We're going to get into it and, it's going to be nice.
Absolutely. So
and if we cry, we cry. If we laugh, we laugh. Whatever we're here,
I'm ready for whatever comes to me. I'm at a very safe space, I would say. Like I'm building myself up to a very safe space. So yeah, like the whole goal is to have myself always come here with the absolute most the most open heart possible.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe.
Possibly,
I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm like having a hard time communicating it because it's very new, like this feeling. But yeah, just an open vessel, an open heart, and open everything. I'm just ready to receive and absorb and assimilate, dissect, and understand, seek to understand.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's do it.
I'm just going to restart so that we can start the camera. All right. And I just want to thank everybody on Patreon who has been supporting what we've been doing, who believe in this format of content and what we're trying to achieve with this channel, which is take everything not seriously, but also fun-heartedly, but then also taking all of the value that these pieces of art and these movies and these films have to give us as people who assimilate it, who view it, who apply it to their day-to-day lives. It's infinitely complex. Life is infinitely complex, and movies, in my opinion, are slices of life, and they're all applicable to your personal journey, and there's just a lot of value in them. So we're trying our best to
Yeah, and that's something that I told someone in the comments once before, that these things aren't just made for our entertainment, and that they all have a story to tell, and that we always seem to relate to some part of it because of our own kind of stories to tell as well, and all of the symbols of understanding this existence that we're all sharing, which is so crazy when you think about it. It's like we're all sharing in this existence, and there's got to be a deeper meaning than all of the stuff that we're thrown at in our faces and stuff.
Right. Which is interesting too, because like we've had a fair share of people who have been like attacking what we're doing and kind of like trying to devalue it in any way that they possibly can. Right. And then one of the things that they've been using, which I'll just say it really quickly, is that before at the height of the pandemic, like we did a podcast, right, where we were trying desperately to like not have to work a 9 to 5, essentially, like desperately trying to cling on to some sense of meaning too, because the world was scary, it was confusing, we were locked in and we needed to do something. So then we started a podcast and it wasn't really growing. And then one day, like we just decided, all right, so we're going to try to like touch on theories. And then if you go on our Mentally Gone Studios TikTok page, you'll see that it's filled with thought experiments, theories, and things that we would just like dedicate time and energy towards creating, talking about, in order to kind of like expand people's consciousness a little bit, but then also try to like tap into the viral culture, which is TikTok, you know, try to like grow the podcast episode. And so on one of those episodes, you went on Reddit and then you were like reading a bunch of like theories and stuff for like popular movies, because we were trying to use like popular IPs to maybe like bring in a new set of audience or something like that for the podcast, because it's been so long, I don't really like remember. But then people like dug that up, created like a Reddit page, right? But it's basically people saying that we fake our Harry Potter stuff, which, by the way, like how do you fake like raw like rawness? Like how do you sustain a 10-hour plus conversation about this one franchise, non-scripted, and just able to just like do it the way that has been done, if you're gonna like fake it and like read off of a script and be calculated? And how, you know, like whatever it is that this has become, like it comes with that. Like people always try to like diminish the value of something, but it's ironic because then these people are the ones who are shooting the people who are raising the standards of what to do within this realm.
Yeah.
So show me another channel that does what we do, and I don't think there is.
And
personally.
And also, we've never had a problem saying if we've watched something before.
Yeah,
you know,
you've
it's
seen...
like I did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. I've already said certain shows that we're gonna watch that maybe one of us has seen. Like one that I've seen is Avatar: The Last Airbender, which we're planning to do soon because Callie hasn't seen it. But it's like we don't have a problem ever saying, because
I don't care about saying, dude, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's like, why would I lie about it? Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen Dragon Ball when I was growing up, right? Like I grew up on Dragon Ball living in Brazil. And that's a thing that I want to kind of like introduce to you. But at the same time, it's been so long since I've seen Dragon Ball that it's going to be as if I'm watching it for the first time again.
Yeah.
But but I'm not going to go on camera and say, I've never seen Dragon Ball. Dude, I have Goku right there. Goku is literally on the like on the Reese's Puff behind me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it gets into this like duality thing, this like polarity. You know, it's like good versus evil. It's like always this like way of thinking. It's like, it's fake. No, it's real. It's fake. It's real. Dude, just if you enjoy the video, then watch it. If you don't, then just like kindly just keep away.
Yeah,
Just shoot.
Exactly. I'm just not for, you know, all the effort that's put into just like criticizing and being kind of hateful.
I just find it funny. Like one person said, "Oh, I'm gonna expose you guys in a 30,000 Discord chat or whatever." I just chuckled. I'm like, all right, expose what?
I don't. Yeah.
It's like, what's my crime? What's my crime? Like what is it?
It's like,
it's stupid. It's so high school. It's so like premature. It's so like it's just disgusting in my opinion.
But it's what like so much of media is now too. It's like everything is kind of like people come together more to hate on something than they do to love something, and more frequently is what I'm trying to say. You know, not saying that it isn't the case that people don't come together to love something. But then even with something that people jointly love, like for example movies, they still try to find a way to argue against each other,
yeah, amongst
like
each other,
about the movie that they love, that they both love. So it's like,
if they can't bond on the shared love of the movie, they have to find reasons to hate each other, even if they're operating within the same field of love for the same thing.
Yeah, it's like more frequently that's what's seen, especially in our culture specifically.
Especially in the United States, you know, like specifically like blue states, red states. It's like, it's hot, it's cold, it's blue, it's green, it's gold, it's white. It's like, Jesus, dude, relax. Relax. It's kind of overwhelming, but again, just brush it off. And we will be moving forward. So we have a lot of Harry Potter stuff. We plan on covering a lot of things on our podcast related to Harry Potter, things that we, you know, want to discuss further, and things that we maybe left out in our discussions that we couldn't really like grasp at the time, but then after rewatching it. And then also, here's a cool idea too. Maybe we rewatch them again soon.
Yeah.
Like not soon, but like maybe like down the line we'll like rewatch it.
I want to, and I want to recreate some of the stuff that they eat in the movie, because I saw that they actually sell like chocolate frogs and stuff like that at the Harry Potter store, which there's one in New York close to us.
Oh, I see.
And also in like other stores like Party City and Five Below, like they sell Harry Potter chocolates. So like that'll be fun to try.
We could have like those breakfast skillets, and then just put one right here, and then just cook a meal. And then just like serve us while we're eating and like watching.
Like as the scene goes on, when there's the Hogwarts feast, we have like our feast.
And then I have like a chicken wing, just like Ron.
I want that. Ooh, that turkey leg or chicken leg. Ooh.
They always make turkey legs seem more juicy on camera than they actually are in real life, right? They do. Like it's never as juicy as they present it to be. Pause.
The leg is always the juiciest, though.
The juiciest, yeah.
I feel like the leg is juicy.
All right,
anyways.
So you want to jump in then?
Yeah, before we just go on and we're like hungry. We're talking about juicy turkey.
Juicy turkey. All right, guys. So without any further ado, thank you again for everybody on Patreon. Thank you for everybody on YouTube. And we will be doing a 5-second countdown for the people on Patreon to synchronize their copy of the movie. You do have to have your own copy of the movie. People have been signing up to Patreon, complaining that we're not showing the whole movie. We can't. We literally can't do that. So it's kind of like, all right, so we have to compromise a little bit. So you have to have your copy of the movie, and then I provide the sync up points, and you can sync up your copy, and we can all watch it together.
Yeah.
And we can all discuss it, and it's uncut. So it's fully uncut, it's uncensored, and it's completely there for everybody to enjoy. All right. So with that being said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play. We do take notes while we do reactions, but this one maybe it doesn't warrant. Mysterious thing time. Ooh.
Oh, where's my wand?
Glasses on. London. I've been to London. I took a picture right next to the bridge right there.
Oh, I want to go so bad.
London is so nice. Oh, we've got Hermione at the library. Let's go. Oh, that looks like Hagrid a little bit.
Is that
Neville Longbottom.
Oh my gosh, they do look so different.
Did that bus say diagonally? Diagonally?
Diagonally.
Diagonally. Oh, they got the card again.
Oh my god. Emma Watson, wow.
Oh, wow.
It's like their actual names.
20th anniversary. Return to Hogwarts. Platform 9 3/4.
Oh my gosh.
They're
like
actually going
as themselves.
That's cool.
Wow.
Oh, Arthur. Oh, Fred? Or is it George?
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, Gary Oldman. We found out that it's Commissioner Gordon.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, look.
Oh, Bellatrix. Lestrange, Lenormand. Nothing strange here.
She's gonna be Lenormand.
Yeah, she's finally a little normal now. We hope. Oh, that's Dumbledore's grave.
And that's an actual train, I think, in Scotland, people said. I think it's Scotland.
We have to do like a travel, Harry Potter edition travel.
Yeah.
Go to all the iconic spots.
Oh, I would love that. Look at that.
Wow, that's actually crazy. The music is so iconic. The French Hogwarts.
Oh, this reminds me of the first movie so much.
Mm-hmm. Tom Tom Felton, right? His name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Draco.
Hermione Granger. Rupert Grint, Gryffindor. And apparently Luna was a Harry Potter fan of the books that got casted into the movies.
What?
Yep.
Oh, I wish that would happen. Imagine.
Yeah, like I'm a fan.
I'm a fan.
Coach. Yeah.
It's like even as a side character or something.
Yeah, I don't mind. Never long about them. Oh,
they look so much older.
Rubius Hagrid. Yeah, it is Hagrid. Oh man. Oh look, the elder one. Lord Voldemort. Even Voldemort showed up. He's like, fine, I'll go. Even though they killed me. Oh man, Sirius Black. It's crazy to see him back again. And
Harry Potter. Oh, this feels so cozy.
I know, right? Perfect for winter coming up.
Oh, they said that in the first movie, I think it was, when he's in the, like, passing the stores, or the second, that there's the actual Harry Potter books
that at this very moment,
in the window.
meeting in hushed voices. The boy who lived.
Wow.
Oh, the director.
Of the first two ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last time we were here, you were shorter.
I'm just very, very slightly.
20 years down the road.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
How did it come to you?
Immediately I saw the movies. I just saw them. Then I had to fly to Edinburgh to meet Joe Rowling. She said, this is my vision. She said, that's exactly the way I see the movie.
Wow.
Of kids round the block, thousands of them all waiting for the latest one.
That's crazy. Wow. Look at that.
My dad used to do all the voices, and my brother and I just became obsessed. Every time we finished a chapter, we'd be like, please, just one more, please, one more.
I went for a sleepover at his house. And he said, well, Philosopher's Stone's there, and that's what we did. This whole sleepover for secrets. Me reading Philosopher's Stone. And that was it, really. I never looked back.
At the time of reading, we obviously related to Fred and George because there aren't many twins in literature.
This book that I sort of genuinely stayed up at night reading.
Perfectly designed universe.
I think it's very easy to forget that at the time people were talking about like the death of reading.
Wow.
This belief in limitless possibilities.
That millions now read books you would never have lifted a man in their lives. Oh my God. And you suddenly realise the power of writing.
The new Harry Potter film are looking for children to play the 3 main roles in the multi-million-pound film.
I like how they always emphasize the money. Multi-million pound.
Going over the road and bought 2 identical matching tops.
Just off the rack.
Just off the rack.
Wow. Smart.
Gentleman holding a boom mic straight over our heads. And this little girl asked me, what's that? I think he even said, it's a mic, duh. I remember it because it was Emma.
Completely in character.
I think terrified my parents because they were like, what are we going to do with her if she doesn't get the part?
Couldn't find Harry.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
And it was getting kind of weird.
Watching the BBC version of David Copperfield. This is the kid we've been looking for months.
Wow.
These 2 guys in the row in front of me started sort of turning round.
David, being the great producer that he is, convinced Dan's father to...
They literally track them down in the theater.
It's a dragon egg.
You're really sweet, but you looked like you had real stuff going on.
Yeah, his eyes look like they've been through stuff, right?
They do.
Wow.
Rupert and Emma, easy to cast because they felt
He's
like
like
they
smile.
jumped off the page.
I never got to look in here. Bit of like reading. This is life. At
Look at Ron's
least 50
face.
points off Gryffindor. Honestly, don't you 2 read?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good for a first take.
Yeah, this is surreal, isn't
Wow.
it? How do we all feel being back and talking about this?
So A, really emotional, and B, it feels like no time has passed and loads of time has passed.
That's how it feels like. Exactly.
I have had kidney stones and a baby so tiny.
Oh my gosh.
I feel my age.
Testing us with various different configurations of Ron, Harry, and Hermione.
But that when it was the 3 of us, something felt different and something felt right.
Wow.
Turn things upside down.
They're doing full press conferences.
I know, I've never had anything happen to me like this before.
Hermione made complete sense to me.
Arguably the smartest person on the set.
Yeah, you could tell.
I think I'm scarily like my character. So I live in a family of 7.
What? He's like, I just have to be myself.
Just fearless.
Rupert was Ron.
How do you feel about becoming famous?
Be cool.
He's so nervous.
It's pretty cool.
I want everyone to feel comfortable. I want everyone to feel like it's a family.
Yeah, that's hard to accomplish, especially when you're dealing with kids, you know?
Yeah.
You have to make them all feel like they're okay, like they're doing great. Even if you don't quite like something, or you have to retake something, or you get angry at someone, you know, you have to...
And imagine that. They had to cast knowing that this would go on for like 7 movies.
Yes, a long-term commitment.
I want you to raise your hand.
Most marriages don't last that long, right?
Yeah.
Dan, will you turn away from her this time?
Obviously, we were just kids, and we were all looking forward to mucking about together.
We were very much just like kids being kids on a set.
Learned how to play slam.
You know what we did a lot of as well was that
Oh
game.
my God, so
slaps.
much hand slap. All of us like red, like red.
I think we
raw
also
hand
upgraded
slap.
to
In between.
I think they do like this. Oh no.
You know, like, look. No, I'm supposed to take it out.
Get a mouse trap. Don't put it on your
Throughout a take, our attention would wane and go.
Of course, you're kids.
Oh my
and then
God.
they'd smile at the camera, or they were so happy to be in a Harry Potter film that they couldn't contain their excitement.
Look at him with glasses.
Columbus had worked kids a lot. He was terrific with them. He really was.
That's
He
good.
used to go down on his knees to...
Oh, we got the Prince of Darkness.
I don't really remember this Dean character that much.
Being surrounded by all the cream of the British acting industry and not having a clue who anyone is. Well, Richard Harris worked here as a tour guide for a while.
Oh my
Yeah, like a bunch of
God.
legendary
I don't think any of
actors,
the
right?
kids had the understanding
Seasoned.
the gravity of who they were dealing with at the time.
That was no stranger Hagrid met in the village. It was Snape.
The British royalty of the acting world.
What are you going to say for yourself?
I swear, I don't know how it happened.
The adult actors came in and were like the mischief in a funny way.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that scene was disgusting.
He was such a kid, like, so immature.
Lovely everything. I tried creams, I tried jellies, I tried shaving. My little facial hair, I'm sure, but he's being very, very difficult.
Oh my God.
Now he took it all off.
Oh man, it makes me feel even worse now that he's not around anymore.
Well, we spent so much time together.
I know.
Wow.
I keep thinking about that scene where I get called a mudblood.
Yes.
And you were so sweet with me that day.
Call me a mudblood.
He did not.
What's a mudblood?
Wow, the CGI
was
drastically
always
improved over the
adamant.
years.
Yeah.
It's a world that couldn't exist in reality. Had a tremendous amount of creative
That's so
freedom,
cool.
so we could build this.
And infinite money, right?
Oh my
A lot of those scenes
God.
with 250 extras, and they're all about 18 and trampling around. And
250 extras.
Oh my gosh.
One of my favourite moments on set ever was the moment when all the floating candles started burning through the ropes that tied.
Hundreds of real candles that were really lit on a fishing line.
Oh my God.
So much of that would be visual effects now.
Did
The fact
anybody
that we got to actually be
that's
on
so
that
true.
set.
That's so cool.
Thank you, Stuart Craig.
Oh my God. Did anybody get caught on fire?
That's funny though.
Imagine a kid was like, ah, my hair.
It's like, hey, you're on Harry Potter though.
Hey, do you want to be or not?
The hardest scene to shoot was Quidditch, and the audience had to understand the rules immediately.
Each team has 7 players, 3 chasers, 2 beaters, 1 keeper, and the seeker. That's you.
So Joe Rowling basically did a rule book for us, a Quidditch rule book, explaining every detail of the game.
Wow. So that it would look accurate.
A pitch that felt authentic and real for a game that is completely unreal.
Oh
It
my
immediately felt real,
gosh,
right?
Yes. Look at that.
Oh, that's fun. That's really cool.
But there was a moment on day 2, maybe, or 3, the camera pushes into you and you say, we're not going home, not really.
I'm not going home.
Not really.
Aw.
I got tears. I still get tears in my eyes thinking about it. I thought, this kid is an amazing actor. First film is very storybook, very inviting.
Yeah.
It is.
Welcome to Hogwarts until you get to the end of the movie.
And I melt a man's face.
Yeah.
Until the end of the movie, the same movie.
Oh yeah, that one just probably gave people some nightmares.
Right.
I had a ball on the second film, The Chamber of Secrets, because I was like, free.
Oh, the car.
This one I liked more than the first one because of the basilisk and the flying car too. Of course.
Ronald Weasley.
Oh, and the Ronald Weasley, the Weasley residence.
Not my daughter. I thought we
You
would see her.
B-word. Yeah, me too, right?
Can't see everyone, I guess, too.
People are busy, right? Too.
Yeah.
The burrow scenes, it just had this frenetic energy. Everyone kind of played off each other.
I feel like being a Weasley is the best part of being Harry Potter. We had like our...
Oh my gosh.
Julie's brilliant to work with. We used to arrive and say, "Hello, Mummy. Hello, Daddy."
What happened to her?
She really kind of took me under her wing, and she just was like the perfect mother figure.
They were always kind of staying in character, and they would have this kind of bounce off each other.
That's me when I'm on camera.
Isn't working.
Oh, look at that.
This is amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been back since Azkaban.
We didn't know you were going to come back. And fun.
Fun. That's what it's there for.
All about muggles.
And then you see the complete opposite with the Malfoys.
Wow, yeah.
Comparison, the two families
I mean, you've got
side by side.
a real
yeah.
chalk and cheese side of it.
Chalk and cheese. Ugh, this guy.
Lucius.
Lucius.
Lucifer. Oh shoot, you look so different. I've never seen him without the wig.
Oh my god.
Which I'm assuming is not a wig.
I went to audition for Gilderoy Lockhart, and
Lockhart.
I was about to play Captain Hook, and asked me to play Lucius, and thank God they did.
Wow.
Wow.
Perfect casting. I couldn't imagine another person.
To explain why Draco was such a horrible, heartless, sadistic bully at school.
Oof. You must be a Weasley.
He's a product of his parents. If Hagrid was your first influence, chances are you're going to be all right there, mate. You're going to be lovely and very huggy.
Aww.
Man.
I adored Tom from the second I met him, but he was always just the biggest sweetheart.
Working with Jason was a real treat. In fact, working with Jason was not always a treat.
Uh-oh.
Just the most unfriendly, horrible person.
And action.
Grabbing him. It was actually cut and it's on the deleted scenes. Draco
What?
touched something and I used this cane and I went... and I went right into little Tom's head.
Oh my gosh.
Eyes welled with tears. So sorry, I didn't realise how sharp they were and how heavy it was. I went, no, it's all right, it's good for
Oh my god.
His evil father.
He's like
Probably
freaking
still
out.
has the scars. Let's see.
Oh, did I hit you too hard? Did I hit you too hard? He's real, Jekyll and Hyde, that one.
Oof, imagine being scared, actually scared, like there's no acting there. It's real. Who plays Dobby?
Yeah, I wonder whose voice.
I've got this part. It's an elf in Harry Potter. How important this character was.
Oh my god, he's cute like Dobby. He is.
I kicked Dobby down the stairs.
Oh my god. Oh my
I just
god.
thought, this is going to be ridiculously good fun.
This guy kind of scares me a little bit now.
That's great improv, though.
I think it's called method acting, apparently.
The sock is pathetic, isn't it, on one level, but on another level, it's everything. And that's, I think, the beauty of the character.
Clothes.
Yes.
Dobby is
Free.
One of the major themes is this alliance of friends.
I kind of feel like rewatching the whole thing again.
Me too. Look at that.
Especially once it starts snowing and there's snow outside. Bundle up.
It feels so Christmassy.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a animatronic version of Fox the Phoenix. And it was this bird, big red bird that doesn't exist.
It does
in
not
life.
exist.
Richard came in and looked at the Phoenix and said, wow, they train these animals marvelously.
Then they were like, well, we don't want to break the spell, so we'll just keep the bird reacting and moving, and then that...
Fascinating creatures, Felixes.
We never told him.
No, we never told him.
No.
We just thought it was a real bird.
Oh
it
my
was insane that we were
gosh.
part of that.
Thank you so much.
It's been the greatest experience of my life.
Wow. Oof, man.
That it matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be.
Wow. Doesn't matter. Oh, coming of age. Prisoner of Azkaban is my personal favorite, I think.
Good man, thank you for...
That is Sirius Black, that is.
Don't judge a book by its cover. You know, in the course of the third film, he comes to learn that he's not who he has been told he was.
I was aware of Harry Potter, but it was very much a sort of kids thing, and I had kids, so it was going to be in my universe somewhere. They were taking a slightly darker approach, and the book was interesting.
Alfonso is what?
Azkaban,
Hispanic? Because I thought he was like Brazilian. It would be cool to know. Alfonso.
Nevertheless, when
yeah.
he turns 13, there's a big cloud that overshadows everything around Harry.
This movie was a trip. The third one was one of my favorites because of just how dramatically different it was from the first two.
Yes.
Complete 180 shift. Opens up dark, wet, cold. Look at that.
And I love the scene with the Patronum.
Yes, Expecto Patronum, being your own savior, you know? Look at that. Oof. Imagine being a child and going to the theaters and seeing the Dementor opening the door. It's crazy.
Kind of quite adult themes in it.
The descriptions that J.K. Rowling has of the Dementors. And I really wanted to convey the sense that the Dementors, what they do is they suck all the joy away.
Wow.
Sucking an essence of Harry.
I think I had a natural sort of paternal thing.
Paternal cuts the Dementor.
Had a paternal thing, well.
I do this with my dad all the time.
The Gary chat. Yeah, you were like, listen, Emma, you need to be cool because Gary Oldman is a really big deal.
Which was really a projection of my own fears, because I was like, Dan, you need...
He's very self-aware.
I feel like that's what you do with me sometimes.
It is.
It was really sweet to see the two of them. That when they discover who they truly are is when suddenly there's an amazing bond.
You could see in the way that Dan looked at Gary, the adulation.
Stuff in the Shrieking Shack at the end. I feel like me, Rupert, and Emma were just like watching tennis in that scene, just being like, this is acting. Watching these like incredible actors.
Wait! I did my waiting in Azkaban!
Full chills,
I've
man.
never done a scene
Acting
with
is
such an
incredible.
amazing cast in my life.
Wow.
And it was so much fun. It's
Wow.
an intense scene in which a lot of things are at stake. Rupert and Emma and Dan, that they are completely committed to the scene. I have such a great memory of it.
Yeah.
Bring an old friend into the castle, and now, here's the proof.
Sirius, I love the relationship Harry and Sirius have.
He's painted as this villainous guy. He's kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's
I
kind of
wish
cool.
I'd had the whole picture.
But
I don't know whether you were, because
did
you
not.
were Harry Potter,
Just Rickman.
you had a...
Rickman did,
you-
that was it.
Rickman?
He had the inside line.
He worked that one.
He very, very early said to Joe, he was like, I think I need to know what happened.
Oh.
Wow.
None of them knew?
I beg you.
Rickman would have an in, wouldn't he?
Did, yeah. He never told Chris, never told anyone. Chris would literally say to him, why are you doing that like that? He said, I'll tell you later.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll find out.
Yeah.
On a need-to-know basis.
Wow.
Alfonso was
Right.
like, now you're teenagers, and I'm
Yeah.
going to treat you like a teenager. And he was the first one who, like, assigned us homework.
Ron kind of looks tired, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see the invisible strings.
Yeah.
Magic.
The green screen.
Yeah.
Of course, Emma writes like 12 pages, like beautifully written.
Rupert didn't deliver anything.
That's so in character.
And I said, Rupert, Ron wouldn't do it.
And he's right.
I mean, luckily, Alfonso kind of saw that it was very in character for me not to have done it.
Rupert is Ron. Yeah, he's Ron 100%.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he tried. in the best way.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Finds a redemption
Buckbeak.
When they save him, yeah.
And all of this is conveyed symbolically in the two of them flying in the night under the silver
Symbolically, see? Symbolism. Everybody's saying, oh, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
The directors themselves admit to it.
It just feels like, you know, being in these, you get to be a part of film history.
This is true.
Hogwarts has been chosen.
Oh my gosh.
This one was intense.
It's Voldemort.
How did you put your name in the goblet of fire? They recreated a lot of the scenes.
Surprised. Like, I remember seeing the Beauxbatons come and do their entrance and the Durmstrangs.
It's really cool.
With the fourth film, we wanted something quite theatrical.
Thank you very much.
Mike is just this excited, loud, passionate man.
I love Mike. He was like a Hogwarts character.
Oh my gosh.
The biggest of them, it's about 900 pages. It's a doorstop. It's a house brick.
It's a house brick.
It has to have this great, big, energetic core to it.
Interesting, right?
Things changed when Columbus left. It was a different vibe. So
Mike knew. Mike treated us like adults. That was it.
Yes.
He did, I suppose.
Yeah. We did have fun on set.
Adults. Adults with water guns.
They had to fight. And then we had these wigs on and beards on, what looked like old men.
These two were sort of pressing about at it. And I said, no, come on, boys, really, it's a fight.
I just came over and said, no.
Okay, who wants to fight? I was a tubby,
Oh my God.
60-year-old gent.
Dived on me and just went like this. Well, I did the same to him.
Wow.
Round the waist and trying to fling him.
Oh, he hurt himself.
Cracked a couple of ribs.
What?
He was in absolute agony.
What?
Oh my gosh.
That I had made a complete twit of myself. Everybody felt much better for that.
He broke the director's record.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine they write him off as dead. Now it's like, you're dead now. You're dead on this movie. Whoa. The hormones, puberty.
All about teenagers, having crushes for the first time.
Yeah, it
asking
felt like
someone
that.
to the date, to the Yule Ball. They and they really felt like that too, because we were literally having the same experiences.
The amount of prep and coach. If she was texting a boy or I was texting a girl, I'd be like, she sent me this many kisses back. What do I do?
A lot of hormones flying around.
People went out with each other and broke up, and just like you're doing, just like I used to do at school.
The Beauxbatons and the Durmstrangs, so you had...
Director knew exactly what he was doing. Exactly what he was doing.
All of them are purposefully hot for the film.
He's annoyed. He's like, I can't act.
Why do they have to travel in packs? Awkward, nerdy teenage side.
Joe?
Yes?
Joe!
I just think maybe you want to go to the ball with me?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
It obviously was a coming-of-age story.
Oh,
One of the big sequences was the Christmas ball.
The Yule Ball is first and foremost a dance.
Oh, yeah, Ron.
Yeah, Ron dances with it.
Place your right hand on my waist.
Oh, it was improvised.
I'd never danced with a lady before, so it was kind of a very new thing.
Never gonna let him forget this.
What? They kind of convinced me before we filmed it that there was this whole dance routine planned.
We were like, do you know your steps? No, the routine. We've all been doing a routine for the past 6 weeks or something like that.
Oh my God.
And build the pressure.
It's him, just like they would in the movies.
So in character.
Lead eventually. Understood?
One of the most enchanting days was the Great Ball, because there was all these incredibly beautiful young people, perfectly dressed.
Cuts to Ron.
Perfectly dressed.
His style is underrated, in my opinion.
Oh, I like it.
Those! My dress robes.
Yeah, you didn't feel cool.
Smell
like my great Aunt Jessie.
All I can remember is that, like, really aggressive 6-layer collar thing you had
Oh,
on.
the little frill thing, yeah. It was very Weasley.
It was very Weasley.
I pulled it off. Not a lot of people could pull it off.
I think for the first time, Harry and Ron, particularly Ron, see Hermione
As a girl.
a young woman.
Yeah.
Not just this kind of sidekick that they each have.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Hermione Granger to Krum?
No, absolutely not.
Denial.
That's what I kind of love about these stories is they sit so parallel to everyone's life. Those kind of emotions, those anxieties, insecurities.
I knew it was a big deal, and I was miserable. I knew there was just like all of this pressure suddenly.
Now, don't swing your arms.
Mike Newell coached me to walk down the stairs in the dress. Your arms are swinging too much. You're walking too quickly. You need to walk slower. He's giving me a million different directions about how to walk down the stairs. And of course, I fell down the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna learn some dance steps for this?
Oh, dancing was always the worst part of growing up at parties.
I feel like I'm pretty rigid in that dance scene.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Stylish. Lucky man. Lucky man. Emma and I have always loved each other, really.
The assignment that had been given was to draw what you thought God looked like. And Tom had drawn a girl with a backward cap on a skateboard.
What?
I just don't know how to say it. I just fell in love with him.
Wow.
I used to come in every day and look for his number on the call sheet. It was number 7.
Number 7.
He was 3 years above me. And so for him, he was like, you're like my little sister.
Aww.
I've always had a soft spot for her, and that continues to the day.
What about Ron?
Nothing has ever happened romantically with us. We just love each other. That's all I can say about that.
What about Ron? Oh, imagine Ron's heart just breaking.
Wow, but wow.
The port key, the graveyard scene with Voldemort.
Yeah. This one was insane.
Yep, it gets real. He who must not be named. Wow.
Tom Riddle.
Has like a death figure.
Yeah.
Grim Reaper. Oh, I can't unsee Voldemort with a nose now.
What? You're being asked to play Voldemort? You've got to do it!
Man, I couldn't imagine anybody else.
I know. At all the cast.
Mm-hmm.
And expecting
wow.
I felt he was the essence of evil.
Going to die.
Going to
Ray
die.
wanted to be ultimately take his nose off.
What?
He does have a nose. Spoiler alert.
It's my boy! My boy!
Man, that scene. Oof.
Suddenly you realize that this movie is not about life, it's about death.
Oof. Oh my God.
Feels that kind of death of somebody young close to him.
He's back. Voldemort's back.
And now the children have left childhood and are going to have to confront the perils of adulthood, and it all comes from that moment of death.
Cedric Diggory was murdered by Lord Voldemort.
All the candles are off in this scene.
And Dumbledore wasn't afraid to say the name Voldemort, you know?
Ever.
Said Dumbledore loudly. Only protection that can possibly
I can't wait
work
to read the
against
books.
the lure of power like Voldemort. All the suffering, you remain pure of heart.
Wow. That's the goal. That's life. The light and dark within.
Oh my gosh.
I was not expecting this friendship.
I killed Sirius Black.
Yeah, like what are the odds that they're friends?
Wow.
They're all still here.
Nobody's fed them.
Okay, now you can be Harry Potter.
You could be Harry Potter.
And let's race, okay? On your mark, set, go.
Oh, God.
It's like 2 kids.
Yeah.
Then what does it say?
What does it say?
I said, I do love you, and I just wish I'd been born 10 years earlier. I might have been in with a chance.
That is in my toilet, Dan.
Is that allowed?
Oh my god.
What's going on here?
Okay.
He has some like MILF fantasies, I guess.
Oh my god.
Hashtag MILF.
The craziest. Oh my gosh, the craziest character.
I know.
Helen has brought her teeth.
My teeth.
What?
Into these in terms of cleaning.
No, these are actual relic. It's 11 years and it smells a bit whiffy.
Put them right in your
helpful.
mouth, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd forgotten.
Do you remember me?
I remember this is, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The teeth helped.
With the character.
I think I wanted to be in camouflage. I was just like, and totally anarchist.
Psychopath. Yeah, there's like a
psychopath.
Bellatrix doesn't think she's evil.
No.
She thinks she's the opposite.
Right.
Reason for why she should hurt people. She is desensitized. It makes her feel powerful.
Yeah, because everybody's so kind of like focused on whatever's happening, and she's the one that breaks out of it.
Yeah.
You can never really know what's going to come out of her.
He always talks about them as if he's terrified.
Yeah, he was scared of everyone.
Trying to be in charge of the scene, and her just having the best time.
She's actually annoying.
She could cackle, she could jump up and down. Calm down. Get the one to go, shut up.
He kissed him so that he felt uncomfortable. That's probably not in the script.
Oh my gosh, I think he's just as afraid as Draco was.
I know.
I remember we worked lots of spells and things. You were a really good wizard, I was a really good witch. And we had a real duel, and they cut the whole lot. So I'd been to one school for weeks.
And we were on that set for days.
One school?
And you fell into the veil. What was it? The veil?
Yeah,
What was it?
I go through the veil. Then there was speculation of, does he come back? Can you
Yeah.
come back from the veil?
Oh my gosh. Nice one, James.
I know.
Or good one, James. Oh, this was so sad.
I killed Sirius Black. Apparently they had a whole duel then.
There was an so like you and Gary and David like would treat us more like adults. And you were like kind of ready to be like, can you push me? Like we want to try and be actors too.
Ooh, man. It's pretty intense. Oh, I hate this lady so much.
By the time felt we needed a director
Oh my god.
who could handle
PTSD.
that
I
in
can't
an
look at her.
entertaining way.
Cared so much about all of these characters. And also, we had a lot
That
of
fight was
one-on-one
amazing.
with David Yates.
I went
Dumbledore
into
versus
Order of the
Voldemort.
Phoenix thinking about how we sort of grow the whole thing up and make it a little bit more adult and sort of thematic.
Wow. It's a lot of responsibility.
Wow, and he did all of those last ones?
Mm-hmm. The ending. Ah, that scene is intense.
There was a big increase in scale and complexity. A big world.
He's just a boy. Voldemort's raising an army, then I want to fight.
And the wink.
Emma is not sure she wants to do another Potter.
But she wanted to abandon ship halfway through?
What she took on and how gracefully she did it.
What happened?
Dan and Rupert, they had each other. I had my cronies, whereas Emma was not only younger, she was by herself.
What?
Oh, she was younger.
I can see that at times I was lonely.
Oh.
Started getting spicy for all of us.
What you considering pulling out? I never really spoken to you about it.
Yeah, I think I was scared. I
Yeah.
don't know if you ever felt like it got to a tipping point when you were like,
Kind of all the way through.
I also
Yeah,
had a
that's-
similar feeling.
The anxiety.
Kind of contemplating what life would be like if I called it a day. Never really spoke about it. I guess we were just kind of going through it.
Look at people crying just seeing them.
the fans genuinely wanted you to succeed and we all genuinely have each other's backs.
Wow.
Films mean so much to them because they kind of grew up alongside us and helped them with some really difficult things in their lives. And
that's what it did for us. Helped us through.
I've been thinking about something Dumbledore said. Even though we've got a fight ahead of us, we've got one thing that Voldemort doesn't have.
Love. Friendship.
Something worth fighting for.
Aww.
I'm really looking forward to watching the films with my hypothetical children one day.
It's massive, the impact. It is extraordinary.
It is.
I was writing to J.K. Rowling since I was about 11 years old.
Wow.
I would find life a bit hopeless without Harry Potter.
Oh my god.
She read the letter and responded to it.
Wow. A pen pal to J.K. Rowling.
I remember Dan very vividly. It was on my screen test. Mistletoe. I kept forgetting that I have to talk back to him because I'm so used to watching him on a screen. So I would just kind of like... And I kind of think that contributed to the whole Luna Lovegood vibe.
Yeah, it does.
Hello, everyone.
She just sits there.
She's not even a Gryffindor.
She's a great character.
The movies kind of gave people permission to accept parts of themselves, so it was quite liberating to see your oddness as a superpower.
Oh my god.
Bunch of misfits I ever set eyes on.
I was not good at school.
I didn't have a huge amount of friends.
Which way you going, Longbottom?
Longbottom.
Longbottom.
That's a funny name.
Great relief of loneliness.
Quite knowing what your place is.
But there's something that matters even more. Believing in yourself.
Wow.
Everyone felt like they belonged by witnessing these characters that didn't belong.
Yeah, it's a paradox for sure.
Bonnie was...
The wide eyes.
I always found Ginny Harry essentially becoming a Weasley himself.
Aww.
It was something I never really kind of expected, especially.
It's just a bit like, oh, what? This is weird.
Excuse me? Yeah. This is weird, imagine. Ah.
So
Yeah.
everyone on this set has known you for about 6 or 7 years and they've watched you grow up. And they're now going to just watch you kiss. Cool, yeah.
I imagine everybody watching.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
So many amazing female roles that Joe wrote, and I think that's really important. They've all become these incredible activists.
That's really nice.
Did you get anything? Because I stole quite a lot.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I worry that if I had, I probably would have lost it by now somewhere.
You know they don't work, Tom.
In time, with enough
practice, it would work.
Yes, but it's quite funny looking back at it now, us doing these incredibly elaborate moves and nothing happening.
No, nothing happened. Except one time it did happen with me.
Oh yeah, you got to do it, didn't you?
When you do your spell, it will blow up. Thought, wow.
That's pretty cool. That's so cool.
Just pointing my wand there, and then it blew up.
It's a lot more satisfying than you know, making a feather levitate.
Making a feather levitate. Leviosa. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Harry is under the impression Draco Malfoy is now a Death Eater.
Death Eater, yeah.
No, he wasn't wrong. Draco.
He had a cool style, like character design, the like clothing.
The adult
it was
can
pretty
develop this
pretty
anger
cool.
and hatred at the world and goes to the dark side.
They make him do the worst thing ever, or to attempt the worst thing ever of killing Dumbledore.
Oh, man.
Please let me help you.
I don't want your help. I have to do this.
Suddenly took this bad guy. We were able to give him the opportunity to explore a far more complex and interesting journey.
Which I enjoyed a lot.
Tom, look, this is your opportunity to really shine.
If we can get just 1% of empathy or sympathy for him, then we'll have done our job.
Which is what they accomplished, right?
Yeah.
To my mind, Draco is the hero. Harry's always going to do the right thing. Harry's always going to make the right choice. Draco breaks the chains of this terrible family, of his responsibility and what he's expected to do. Manifest all that nuance, all that complication, all that great ethical minefield that it was just so impressive.
That was a great scene. One of my favorite scenes.
Wow. And it's crazy because in the moment we thought he was saying please to not do it, but then we learned that he's saying please do it. It's like please.
Because he might have not been able to do it.
So many people that we both thought would be around for much longer.
Oh, man.
Helen and Alan and Richard and...
Yeah. And like family, you can grieve in the same way.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman's performance as Snape is chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. And he was the only one that knew.
The dead, Harry.
Wow, look.
Pity the living.
And Dumbledore, man.
And above all those who live without love.
Does not do to dwell on and forget
to live.
Richard Harris was such a special, warm person. He was so twinkly.
Probably one of the funniest men I've ever met. He was this devilish 11-year-old trapped in a 70-plus-year-old man's body. Which made him the perfect Dumbledore, by the way.
Earwax.
Earwax. I knew. I forgot. That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, he passed too.
He
Wow.
his wickedness.
His passing was the one that has affected me most.
I wondered when I'd be seeing you, Mr. Potter.
The amount of just amazing people that have passed. You know, I'll be very, very old one day saying, like, I knew that absolute legend.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Helen McCrory played my wife. I just met the best actress I've ever seen in my life.
Come.
Frankly, adolescent laughter with her on the set.
She taught me a lot. See, I can't even say it. Just shows such empathy in our eyes. It was a real treat to work with her.
I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses.
Alan was a very dear friend, and we had that final scene, his final scene.
It answers to you and you only. Does it?
We sort of went toe-to-toe in a funny way, you know, Snape and Voldemort. Two actors can relish metaphorically fencing with each other. Alan was a magician in that way as an actor.
Wow.
It's the lovers never really leave us. And you can always find in here.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
You're not alone. The most powerful wand ever made. Together, they make one master of death. The boy who lived.
Man, I feel like we have to rewatch the whole thing now. Man, oh man. Marauders map.
Yeah, we have the blanket.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Something worth fighting for. The final chapters.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm having like weird nostalgic moments. Remember my hamster? Does anyone remember my hamster?
Yes.
Millie.
They made a coffin for it, the carpentry department.
The coffin department.
Oh my gosh.
And it had her name engraved
I
because
mean-
I was beside myself.
Did we do like a service? I feel like we said a few words.
Like a funeral?
And like stroke and touch dead Millie. And he was like, Emma, Millie's got to like stay in the coffin now.
I have forgotten so much of this.
He like compartmentalized it.
We all still look better than we do in the epilogue, which is great.
Yeah, the ending when they're old, they look better here.
Oh my gosh.
They like aged, like they're the age that they did here.
Yeah.
All in a fat suit.
Really quite understand what we experience. I think David Yates used to describe us as astronauts because no one else has really experienced this on this scale.
Yeah. One of one, right? Like you can't replicate this.
Knowing we sort of needed to take care of each other. I'm knackered. Are you okay, Dan, if I like fall asleep on you?
Knackered. That's like tired in British.
The level of trust that I had and that we did build over those 10 years was like, if we were doing a stunt, I trusted that one of you would catch me.
Wow.
There's very few working environments where you get that much time to build that up.
And it was like non-verbal.
We had the infinite bag glitch. Infinite.
You're amazing, you are.
You're amazing.
Always a total surprise.
The tone was a lot darker.
I love this one. Part one was amazing.
It's very refreshing, I think, because we all got to do some a lot more serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go deeper with these characters.
Yes. One of my favorites, part one.
Their acting was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you two the other night.
There's nothing. A scene that I thought was going to be really awkward and I wasn't sure about at all, which was us doing our dance. Like, now that's one of my favorite scenes from the whole of the series. The level of familiarity that you and I had with each other at that point.
Wow.
The director came in and was like, hey, how about you do slow dancing to Nick Cave for 5 minutes? You're like, wait, what movie are we working on? Like,
what movie is this? Yeah, this scene,
This
man.
was beautiful.
We were dancing to the song just the other day, like we like played it. That was a nice... That's a great song.
There's so much said in the scene that was unspoken. I love that.
there was that sequence on the last movie where it was like us running through the forest.
Ooh, that's dangerous, right?
I would be terrified.
Slipping, falling, right?
No, being chased.
Oh my god.
Becoming incredibly
Look at that.
Especially the hairy guy.
I know, like you look back and see a werewolf.
For me, running is a stunt.
It's a stunt. Damn, friendly fire.
We had started off young and really not knowing what we're doing, so that when we'd see each other do like a bit of real acting, you go, oh, cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. High five.
Us kissing was the most horrifying thing I
What?
Oh my gosh.
Is there some tension in the room? Do
Well,
you
she
feel it?
liked she liked Draco.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. No wonder she hasn't got any friends.
Aww.
I love Ron and Hermione's romance and the way that sort of just bubbles away under the story.
Smooth.
Desperate to see these two kiss.
Actually, I was going to ask you.
Oh yeah, in the Chamber of Secrets.
She was like putting herself out there.
Because we're doing the kiss this week between Ron and Hermione.
What?
Doing the kiss between Ron and Hermione in,
This week?
in the Chamber of Secrets.
In the Chamber of
Oh
Secrets.
my god.
Even the director is finding it funny.
She's like, what?
That scene was wet.
7 movies for this. It was almost like prepping them for a major sports event.
And I was just really scared we
Oh
were never
my
going to get it because we
gosh.
just couldn't take it seriously.
That makes it so awkward.
I'm gonna come on set and watch you guys kiss.
Because everyone was like, this is going to be good, guys. So I just had to go for it.
I saw Rupert's face explode with surprise because he...
Happiest day of his life.
Blacked out.
I think I kind of blacked out.
Oh my god.
Every time we talk about this, he keeps talking about it to this day. Wow.
They did well though for how awkward
it.
and laughing they were.
I bought it.
It just felt
It keeps beating him down.
wrong.
He's already down, man.
Rupert and I are so much siblings.
She's like friend zoned him so bad. Hold on, I have to reset the camera. She's like painting it out as like friend
Remember the
zone.
scene when
Friend.
you're like, no guys, I'm not. And I gave you the hug to say goodbye. I'll go with you.
Aww.
I
Kill the
knew
snake.
I was saying goodbye to the series. I knew I was saying goodbye to you.
Wow.
Oh man.
It's a very biblical image carrying Harry across.
Biblical image. See? We're not crazy.
I owe so much to Neville as a character. I was very, very shy, and I would never speak up in class. I wouldn't put my hand up for anything.
That was me. I was also that in class.
Great story of Neville is that he's the champion.
Good must prevail, of course.
In front of all these people.
In here, but the thing that Harry Potter did for me, both as a story and as an actor in it, was that it helped me to find, at first, what I'm not, for all of us, which therefore, by extension, found what I am.
Oh my god. The moment he realized he messed up. Woo! Slay the snake, dude. Slay it. That's it.
Because these two adversaries were almost joined spiritually, if you like. I thought
Interesting,
wouldn't it
right?
be wonderful if Dan just grabbed Rafe and pulled him off this tower. As
Oh
they act
my
like they
gosh.
merged together. That deep connection that we'd sort of threaded through the stories and the films, you'd visualize in that moment.
That's what it was for me, yeah. Seeing both of them being the same person in essence.
You're the one who's going to finish this. It has to go out on a high. It has to be meaningful.
And he did a fantastic job, right?
All of them. They
Everything.
did, yeah.
Everyone did, yeah. Everyone involved. Fantastic. Expelliarmus! And here he becomes Master of Death. And then you have to do him, yeah. You can be like, oh man, look at that. Oh my goodness. I do like how he kind of evaporates. People said that they would have preferred if he was just dead on the ground because it would normalize him as human. As like as normal as everyone else.
Rather not be seen like this?
Yeah.
Why?
He has a girl clip.
Yeah.
Look at his cheeks all red.
It's your first day. How does it feel?
It feels absolutely fantastic.
Aww.
Okay, get back to work. People need to pamper you.
Oh my gosh.
Towards the end, it was kind of a weird time, especially kind of finishing. I feel like I lost track of who I was and who the character was. I didn't really know where they ended or began.
Wow.
Who am I? Like, what do I like to do, or what is important to me?
Weird things, even my name didn't feel like my name. I really knew how to do one thing.
Yeah.
I knew how to play Ron.
Ron was my favourite character.
It's almost like we did the most extreme form of method acting.
Yeah.
You're like a pillar of my life.
It's a very overwhelming thing because I've watched you grow up. We've watched each other grow up. We grew up together. We're family. Even though we don't see each other, we will always be part of each other's life.
Man, I wasn't expecting it to be emotional. Oh, gosh. But how can it not, you know?
Oh, my gosh.
As a friend.
As a friend, because he's married, right?
Yeah.
When we were all wrapping up those final scenes, one of the last shots we did,
We were diving past the camera.
That was what it all came down to, this one take of us jumping.
Wow, that was the last one.
It was such a metaphor for what was actually happening.
Wow.
To travel into another world.
Wow.
the collective emotion was incredibly palpable.
On that last day,
I remember all of us just holding each other.
Man.
Utterly devastated.
Oh, my God.
Even process or realize we'd done it. We'd made it through.
Someone said, like, oh, when did you pass your driving test? I'm like, Order of the Phoenix.
There's something about Harry Potter that makes life richer, that give us places we can go where we can rest and feel held.
these are the only films my dad and I watch together. Like, we can't talk about anything else, and like, we watch Harry Potter together, and that's been our thing.
The stage show, Fantastic Beasts, is just kind of living forever, and it's amazing to see it.
Which we have to cover Fantastic Beasts.
I just think that has such a transformative effect on people. That's magic.
Every child wonders how they're going to fit in, and it's an epic journey that every child goes on.
Dobby will always be there for Harry Potter.
Having that moment of doubt or that wobble or that argument with my parents.
I have found it an extraordinary world to be involved with. It's a beautiful world.
Harry.
Wow.
Harry.
Harry.
People who otherwise feel lonely, they feel they belong.
Grateful that it's being passed down to other generations.
Training for the ballet, Potter.
Oh my God, I'm speechless. It's crazy.
Was the fact that you get to see young children grow into adults.
Yes.
See that journey on film. I don't think we've ever seen that before.
Very rare, right?
I get to be part of a world that people love so much and makes people happy.
The healthy
Look
form
at
of
that.
escapism. That, I think, is kind of what Harry Potter does.
They are a guide to how to live.
Professor Quirrell.
My children had grown up during it, of course.
He's not with us anymore.
Finest gamekeeper in Hogwarts, last day on Harry Potter.
Oh my God.
So you could be watching it in 50 years' time. Easy. I'll not be here, sadly, but... But Hagrid will, yes.
It's just really fond memories. I think about it a lot. It was a great time.
I can't really explain to you, like, they're such good people. They were so kind, and they both took the responsibility of it really seriously, and
It really is like family. We're just so intrinsically linked. They're very important people to me.
There are people on these films that are foundational to who I am. As a person and an actor. It was a very good 10 years.
Oh my gosh. Man.
After all this time.
Always. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Oh man, my makeup is running.
Oh my goodness. You gotta go catch it. You better go catch it before it leaves.
Oh no, it's right.
Oh, it's running away. We gotta call the cops.
Oh no.
Oh man. That's fantastic, literally. Oh, that was so amazing.
There, it's better already.
Oh, snap out of it, Callie. Snap out of it. Snap out of it.
Oops.
Man. That was intense, right?
Yeah, that was intense. That was...
Gosh.
Wow, that was... Oh... Look, I think that's when you know that you've left something that's going to leave an imprint on people's lives for generations and generations. Like adults and kids alike, any age, really. Like you can see that it just brings together a whole array of people. Oh, and to be a part of that, like the way that they all talk about it, it really is so powerful.
I don't think any of them spoke about it as if it was a job, like a regular job. All of them spoke about it with this high regard, you know?
Yeah.
It's a pivotal moment in development of their existence, you know, of who they are now.
Yeah.
So who they are today is largely due, you know, to this experience. And the impact too, like you saw them signing autographs, people crying just seeing them, you know? Man, that's insane.
And the way that they talk about it is that it's kind of in this way that it was a privilege for them, not because of the fame and the fortune, but because of the family that they built on the set. It's like the memories that they created together and the beautiful work that they created together. So, but it really is, it's really beautiful to see it though. We don't see the behind the scenes of many things. Okay.
I have to reset the camera. Hold on. Oh man, I don't know. It's just I was trying to like group myself a little bit because it becomes real, you know. Like when we finished the last one, we had already like seen people in the comments saying that after you do part 2, like you have to do Pottermore, which is the sorting of the houses, and you have to see what wand you get. And you also have to do the 20th anniversary Harry Potter after you do part 2. And so part 2 for me didn't really feel like a close, kind of like obviously it's a close to the whole narrative and there's a happy ending, you know. Evil goes away and good prevails, love prevails. But this made it real.
Yeah.
It's like this kind of the nail in the coffin, kind of like it's over, it's done, you know? And I don't know, like I would like to share more personal stuff, but I don't know if I can like, well, I have to eventually learn how to like master that too, right? Like I've always been a person growing up who, once I got emotional, like I couldn't speak. Because I feel like I'm very sensitive emotions-wise. Like I've always had like a very sensitive antenna kind of to like information, you know, from things outside of myself. Always, ever since I can remember, like I've always been very sensitive, like very filled with emotions and very just like ready to feel them. Even if I wasn't ready, I had to deal with them. But yeah, it's just very beautiful how timing works and how everything aligns. you know, everything in divine timing, everything in God's time and the universe's time, whatever you choose to subscribe to, whatever gets you through your life and your existence. You know, everybody has to have something. I think, you know, even if it's people who are alive and surround you and family, or people who have passed who live on in your heart, or if it's God or whatever religion, belief system, spirituality, whatever carries you through, all of it's valid. You know, any form of love is valid in that sense. Like because love is love, you know, like love is a thing that you can't define, you can't grasp, you can't really understand. And it's just really interesting how watching these movies, you know, and covering them on this channel aligned with some of the most difficult moments of my life, easily, hands down. And so people don't know this, and people have, you know, complained a lot and said like, oh, like you guys take forever. It's going to take you forever to post another video. Cause like there were times when we were posting one video a month, and it's not by choice, you know, it's just because honestly, like I wasn't in a space to like live, kind of, you know, like I've been going through a lot of stuff behind the cameras that people don't really know about, that my own parents don't know about, that I haven't communicated with anybody really. And so this idea of like family is what really hit me in this as well. Like they all felt like they were a part of this big family growing up. And yeah, like I think that that's the privilege, you know, to like work on something and to have I don't know, just a huge support system, and having love and support, and people who believe in you, and people who hold you if you fall, who pick you up if you fall. Relative to them, like I grew up kind of alone, you know, like really alone, and just always like craving kind of like a family unit, you know, like my parents divorced when I was like hold on. Because I didn't even like take any notes, you know.
It's okay.
I don't know, like this channel has literally saved my life. And Harry Potter was like a pivotal thing, you know, like doing them and sitting and like learning about Harry and like what he was going through. Like it was very, oh man, it was freaky at times, because it was like him dealing with the same things that I was dealing with. And so a lot of it became instructive, you know, like it's very instructive and very valuable. Like I needed these movies in order to help me kind of navigate, because I don't have, aside from me and you, like I genuinely like don't have anyone who I can like fall back on, you know, like aside from you and my sister and people in this house, you know. But aside from that, like I've always been kind of like, that's always been my default reality type of thing. And so just this idea of having like a big family and a strong support system and friendships that last for years and don't waver, and everybody's uplifting, and like that sounds like a dream, you know? It sounds like heaven, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the idea that Hagrid said, right? Rubius Hagrid, saying how like he won't be around forever, but Hagrid will. And I get it, you know, like I understand why this franchise has the appeal that it has, and it has the love and the amount of devotion that people, you know, because it's intense. Like it is intense, and it's very real. It's very raw. It deals with real things, you know, death and I almost lost my mom just a few months ago. And I just like woke up the next day and I'm like, all right, just got to go back to work. Just got to go back to existence. You know, it's like almost nonchalantly things have been happening. You know, a lot of shifts in my life, a lot of highs and a lot of like very deep, shallow kind of infinite lows that at times feel like it's never ending. But then it's good to know, like it's reassuring to know that at the end of the day, puberty, that at the end of the day, love always prevails, you know? And like that's what you got to do. Just take the good with the bad. And yeah. I don't know what else to say. I do want us to, like, we are going to do the Pottermore. That's going to be an extra video. Like that's going to be in a different video. We're going to do that, and we're going to do like a dedicated one, possibly filming it at the computer, because it involves a website. And then we're going to do Hogwarts Legacy on this channel. We're going to do the full playthrough. And we're going to do a podcast where we're going to dissect all these movies that we've watched, you know, things that we didn't get to say, things that we learned after the fact. And yeah, like that's pretty much it. I'm just very grateful for everybody who decides to watch, everybody who sees the value that we're trying our best. Like things that we share here, like things that are said are not things that either of us have really learned reading in any book or learned in school or anything like that. It's like these are things that we learned because we had to learn, you know, because we had no choice. Like we had to just learn it in order to survive. Or at least for me, that's always been the case. I've always kind of like defaulted back into just deep introspection, you know, because I had a lot of time growing up alone. So a lot of time to myself, a lot of time just left to my own devices, and had a lot of responsibility from a very young age, you know, things that, you know, like normal children, quote unquote, don't have to stress about it, don't have to like witness or don't have to undergo. And I don't know if I would ever like talk about like the full extent of my life. Like maybe one day I just like decide to just, you know, just completely write a book or something about myself. But then that sounds super pretentious, and I kind of threw up in my mouth a little bit just to think about it. But I do want to open up more about my experiences in life, and that's why we're going to do the podcast, because then you guys could get to know us a little bit better and know the people behind the reaction videos, you know, or the gaming videos that are soon going to be coming out. But yeah, there's a lot more than meets the eye, is all I will say.
It's kind of funny because you feel a lot. Like you feel very intensely and you feel very often. And I've always been someone who I kind of just try very hard to detach from my feelings. And then I don't even realize like how much I have bottled up until it just starts like
bursting out.
And then I'm like, man, I have to keep it under control.
Yeah.
I guess I've just like, I don't know. That's been my coping mechanism through things.
Yeah, which is valid, you know, like it's what helps you survive when you need it.
But then these things, everything that we've watched has shown us that there is only strength to be found in being vulnerable.
Only strength, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never weakness.
And I truly believe that vulnerability is the ultimate language. It's the unspoken language, right? Because you don't even have to do anything to be vulnerable. Like you could just accept and just surrender to the moment, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying my best to learn how to do in everything I take on. So if it's watching a movie, if it's talking about something on the podcast, if it's, you know, playing a video game and there's like an emotional scene or anywhere and everything, to me, like I'm always learning, I'm always trying to dissect things, not in a way that's like try hard or too try hard, but it is in a way where I'm just eager and curious about learning, you know, about what life is, like what is this existence? Death is coming for us all, you know, but very few of us treat life as if that's the case, you know, and not in a panicky way, but in a self-aware way, where it's like, okay, so this thing is coming, impending doom is upon us. So where should we invest our energy? You know, in the positives or in the negatives, you know, seeking answers or living in complete ignorance. And hopefully that's something that you guys pick up on from the videos that we do.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys see that underneath all of these conversations that we have, these long conversations that go for hours, and my lower back has been killing me, kind of, because I have to like turn, and I can only imagine yours too. And
like this.
And one reaction, my neck was like kind of like petrified into place, and then I had to do a spell on it so that I could move it again. But these long conversations about these movies, just know that all of it comes directly from a fountain of pain. It's like, it's been a lot of pain. It has not been fun. Not all of it has been fun, but these reactions are always fun. And that's how I know that I have to stick to the thing that brings me joy. Yeah. And that's always learning. Like when I'm in a position to learn and I feel like I'm also producing some form of value, right? Because that's what happens when you grow up neglected by both parents for the most part, is that you start attributing your worth by the things that you're able to do, and like your value becomes contingent on your ability to produce anything of value, right? So how valuable are you? Like, are you worth my time? Are you worth my love, affection, attention? So growing up, like, I've always wanted to prove myself in some arena, right? In some capacity. So in my early teens, like when I was from 18 to like 23, I'm turning 27. But from 18 to 23, my whole thing was about entrepreneurship, and I was on my path to opening a commercial gym, you know, like a place for you to work out, and it was going to have its own podcast, and I was going to interview every single person in the gym, and the whole motto of that podcast was for outliers, by outliers, which was the concept I developed at a very young age, which I'm really proud of myself for because most kids my age just were getting turned up and just wanted to hit the clubs and stuff. Yeah. And then I was like reaching out to people, inviting them over to my house to do a podcast, you know, things that don't happen in the middle of New Jersey. But then I was like on this path towards wanting to accomplish something and prove myself. And then, you know, with the spiritual awakening and like all of this spiritual journey and the pursuit of knowledge and trying to understand what is life, what is death, what is alchemy, what is transformation, what do these movies represent really, you know, like trying to really just dig deep and understand what all of this is. And this has been the most satisfying experience. And the irony of it is that I'm not trying to prove myself to anybody anymore. I'm just trying to like have fun, enjoy it. But the reactions that we get in the comments of these reactions are what fuels my passion and like belief in myself. And it's not, my belief in myself is not contingent on them. It's not predicated on other people's opinions, but it does help me kind of like, it gives air to my wings kind of, and it really has saved my life essentially. Like in all estimations, all of it. And I can't thank you guys enough for joining us on this insane journey. You know, like it's been an insane journey, and at the same time, it does feel like we're only getting started. I recently cracked a code with like editing that's going to kind of make editing way faster, and that's kind of what was hindering us a little bit, is just a lot of constraints in terms of like production, the production side of things. But now I've handled that and I've been able to deal with it a little bit better. And
yeah. Oh, this one was...
The goal is to experience all the movies on this channel, everything in existence, every video game, every movie, every topic, every interesting thing on the podcast, and just keep like everything I get excited about. I want to be able to turn on the camera and share it with you guys. So that's why we want to just expand more and more, and like in the dead silence space in between reactions while I'm editing, here's a podcast, here's a gaming episode, which takes much less effort to like edit. It's just that the reactions with the copyright and the cutting and a lot of the cuts, it takes a while.
It does.
It takes a while, but it's fun though, because even rewatching these reactions, I'm always like learning new things, which I told you about too. Like I was like editing Dune Part 2, and then I was telling about these things that I didn't notice during our first watch through, like these small little details that I could only see because I was watching everything.
Yeah.
Again, intricately and so meticulous too. Like the cuts have to be like a certain amount and certain size.
You're literally doing a full watch through frame by frame.
Yeah, frame by frame. Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa, I didn't notice the eyes on this part.
Yeah. Which people were pointing out, obviously, that the eye that opened was the baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look.
It's technically the inner eye.
All of these directors, these directors and producers, if they've shown you anything, it's that they're like everything is filled with symbolism and is filled with like so much more depth than what we just see on the screen.
They said it even that scene of Harry being carried was very Christ-like.
Exactly. So when we see Jessica, right, and then it literally zooms into one eye. Obviously, it's the baby, but the point is that another layer that you can add to that, if you want to just interpret it that way, is that it's the inner eye. It's the inner knowing kind of awakening, and that's why it's only one eyeball and not the two. It's like an inner eye, but it's interesting still. Like I think that that's what makes movies so beautiful. It's that it's all up for interpretation and
stories too, historically.
And the stories, it's like how you relate to them, and everybody relates to them differently, and everyone relates to them in similar ways, and it's. Yeah, like this just shows it. Look how many people bonded over a story about a boy who went from a cupboard to sacrificing himself for humanity.
Questioning his place in the world and realizing that he had to selflessly give his life to save everybody. But the part that Ron, right, Rupert, said that he didn't understand where the lines crossed. It became very blurry. Who's Ron? Who's Rupert?
Yeah.
Talk about an identity crisis, right? Where you're known by everybody. Yeah. Your name's not Rupert, it's Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
You are Ron Weasley. For as long as I live, you are Ron. And living like that, and everyone, everywhere you go, there you are.
Yeah.
But it's not even you. It's someone that was written up, but it just so happens that your characteristics and your personality aligns perfectly with the character that was written. But then you ask yourself, okay, the character's written exactly like me, but does that mean that I'm confined to the writing of the character?
Yeah.
And how much of creative freedom do I have as a human being to expand beyond that? Maybe Ron wanted to join the motorcycle gang, fill himself up with tattoos, get jacked city, and then become a Mr. Olympia on stage. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then maybe he had this like dooming sense of limitation, this overwhelming anxiety. I can only imagine also about the weight of expectations, right? Like people ask us to watch certain movies and they like comment a few times, and you can tell that these movies are very important to people. And then when we sit down to record them, all I can think about are the comments of the people who were like really, really eager to see us reacting to that specific film. And then I sit down and then I just replay those comments in my head, and I'm like, wow, like I have to do justice to this movie because of that one person,
And that's how they felt, having to do justice of the books for all of the people who enjoyed the books. It's like they had to do that, and they had to do that at such a young age too. Yeah. And then to what you're saying, it's so interesting because I think that all of them were, especially the kids, were very much like their characters, right? Like Hermione admitted that Emma admitted that she was very much like Hermione, and Daniel Radcliffe admitted that he was kind of like Harry, and Ron said that he felt like Rupert feels like he was exactly like Ron, right?
Yeah.
And then even the twins are very much like Fred and George in real life. It's like they pull pranks and they kind of like are a little bit mischievous and stuff. But then what's interesting about that is that imagine that the character is so perfectly aligned, right? So it makes the role easy. But then what you're saying too is that how, like, they can't stray far from their character because they are their character.
Yeah, they can't.
So even if they tried, it would kind of just be like, oh my gosh, I really am just Ron. Like, like in real life, like just translate it from a wizarding world into London or wherever. It's like they are their characters, like at least in the personality to an extent, maybe not completely, but
they have to abide by the source material.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be able to stray from the characters anyways, because, for example, for the adults, like obviously for the Ralph actor who plays Voldemort, he's nothing like Voldemort really in person, right?
Yeah.
Like he probably has like a shadow side where he's like a little bit more
he taps into, which is what you imagine these actors resort to, right? Like everybody has a Voldemort and everybody has a Harry. Everybody has the selfless, loving, ever caring aspects of themselves, and then they have the evil, conniving, impulsive thoughts that you have, like when you're walking down a set of stairs as a teenager and you see this old lady and you're like, you know, like most of us have had thoughts like that. Come on.
You're driving and then it's like, I'm
what
gonna
if
crash into this.
I'm driving on a bridge. I'm driving on a bridge. Don't do it. And then you know,
those are the intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive, like that's the Voldemort, you know. And then I was also reading about the thing that I shared with you about the Choronzon, or Choronzon, I believe, and it's this archetype of basically Satan and basically the devil and the greatest fear that's projected by the protagonist, right? In like most of these stories, especially biblical ones, and everybody has their own personal Choronzon / Voldemort / what's the demon that Gandalf?
Sauron?
No.
Oh, the Balrog.
The Balrog demon that Gandalf said, you shall not pass, you know, and then he falls into the pit of darkness, and that pit represents the deep subconscious of himself, and he's confronting his own Voldemort. And then he's reborn anew as Gandalf the White, you know? So it's always this willingness to confront death is what's going to result in your enlightenment to life, to the beauties of life, because then life becomes imbued with meaning in the face of impending doom and destruction and just fleetingness, you know? Like it's all fleeting. So if you're sitting at a bus stop and you see a beautiful flower in front of you, instead of looking down at your phone, you can give yourself the permission to really embrace the flower and have the flower embrace you, and just sit there and just breathe in, you know, like the dumpster that's right next to you as you sit at the bench, and just like analyze and just feel everything and just be present. What I've learned to do is be present a little bit.
And that's what they show too, like on the set, like instead of just resorting to action and then doing their scenes, and then as soon as cut is called, it's like they kind of go their own ways and they kind of are all isolated and just there to do the acting. But instead you see what you're saying, it's like appreciating the moments, and that's what they did. It's like it started from their prime, like their younger years, and then into their kind of like late teenage years. And so it's just and then even for the adults, like it, especially them having to be patient and having to be understanding, but then the way that they described it, how they looked at the children as adults, shows that it really transcended any kind of
hierarchy.
Any kind of hierarchy or chain of power. It's like there is no, it's like they're all equals, right? Like Harry Potter is the main protagonist. Like he has a whole load of weight to carry for like with his acting, as much as a Voldemort does, right? So
and you can also tell that acting seems to be a competitive sport to many of the best actors, right? So Voldemort's actor Ralph said that when he was acting with Alan Rickman, who's Snape, he felt like they were going toe to toe, almost as if it was a boxing match. You know, it's a basketball. It's a 1v1. And there's that certain competitiveness, but it's also like all of them elevating each other's craft.
Yeah.
You know, because you work with a great artist, if you get a chance to work with Leonardo da Vinci and you learn a few techniques, you become an enhanced professional artist or enhanced artist in general.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what every relationship should have, like an amount or an extent of like submission where you kind of don't try to assert control over the other. It's like you kind
mutual.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Equal. It's
because,
like very
because the way you started the thing is like, I think every relationship should have one person submit to the other
not
person.
one person. It's like both, like everybody.
Surrender. Yeah.
Everybody, because it's kind of in the book that I'm currently reading, and then it talks about
what's the book?
Like the Shack, and it talks about like the ultimate submission that Jesus made, right? And then there's like a conversation and a dialogue where they're talking about submission. It's like submitting yourself in terms of like being of service to each other. So that's what we see. It's like the older actors kind of giving pointers. And I feel like that's what every relationship, though, like not even just confined to work, but every relationship should have that. It's kind of like a
yin and yang.
Yeah, like a tug and pull. It's like bringing different elements to the relationship, bringing your strengths and enhancing each other's strengths.
Yes.
And, you know, and also maneuvering each other's weaknesses a little and
respecting each other's domain of expertise. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then one thing I wanted to point out was how every single producer that they were like showing us, like David Yates, and are they
David Yates was the director, but there was one consistent producer for the whole thing.
Oh, okay, but then how the directors changed for every movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there were a few movies that one director did, and then it was like one director did the Goblet of Fire or whatever, right? So what's interesting is that I think that was so beautifully done because every director, even the directors, were perfect for exactly what the films were, that it's actually mind-blowing. And I think that's why Harry Potter became such a favorite, like for me watching it, of all the things that we watched, because it's like you can feel the shift happening like in the movies, like in the story, but then it's also happening outside because the directors are changing, and so there's like completely different visions coming together, but it's still like sewing this whole story in one piece, you know? It's like making a full circle,
and it's all different, but it's very similar.
And so they respect each other's work without even directly working with each other, really. It's like they get the creative freedom each time, so whoever's working on Prisoner of Azkaban has all the creative freedom, doesn't have to worry about the last director. It's like I get to kind of pull my own little strings now.
Yes.
And then that's what they do. And then that's why they make the characters more moody if they want, or they make the characters have more depth. Yeah. Or whatever it is. It's like and it's so fun to see it, and fun to see that that's the reason why it changes so much too.
Yeah, and it also follows their like aging too.
Yeah,
you know, which what makes me interested in like finally reading the books, because I want to see how similar the books are and how different the books are. Obviously, you can't fit a 900-page Goblet of Fire, you know, in like on the screen in a limited amount of time. Like you can't do that. But then what he said about that was very interesting, because apparently it's the longest book of the series, and his movie, he said that he was very focused on making it the most thrilling in terms of like emotions and attraction, the romance aspects and the action aspects of it, and the visual kind of like stimulus that comes from seeing a half man, half shark swimming towards Harry, and having all of those, you know, having the reveal of Voldemort. So it's a very epic movie, kind of, or an epic proportion that he has to, you know, adapt to the screen and then have it approved probably by J.K. Rowling. And there's that whole process, you know, which I'm also curious to know how much her involvement was actively. Like, was she always on the set? Did she swing by, or was one of the conditions, hey, like, we'll buy this IP, but you have to stay away and we're going to make whatever creative decisions, you know, like, what's the extent of the deal that was done? And I'm very curious to know about her story too. Like what, because we all praise this, but then the person who created this, you know, she's probably worth reading about.
Yeah, and apparently there is like controversy, but I don't know the extent of it, so I can't even really share on it. But there's like controversy about her as a person and stuff, and then people kind of like separating it from the work that she does. But I think that that's, you know, like that should be applied for everything. Really, it's like everyone. It's like. You know, like
you have to be able to separate the art from the artist.
It's like this, like create a distinction between the two, because the art is what we're meant to kind of. It's
the
like,
art is a thing that's pulled directly from the ether.
Yes.
Is what the ancient alchemists would believe, is that the ether was a space where it's everything around you, it's everything that's invisible, but it's there, you know, and creatives are the people who have a very sensitive antenna and they can capture the signals that come from the ether. And usually it's the case where like one culture is in China and the other culture is all the way in South America or in Africa, and they completely like are disconnected in terms of communication during a certain time in history, but both of them develop a same idea, same concept, the same like mythology, a same group of characters, the same story, and they're completely disconnected and isolated from each other. So what happens there is that these two cultures pick the ripe fruit of creativity from the ether, and then the great artist is able to translate that onto page. So it's been a lot of cases where artists are so prolific and so like they don't think at all when they produce, that they even say that they don't even remember making anything. Or if you hear Lil Wayne, right, talk about his like rapping process, he says that he doesn't remember most of his songs because he's just so in the moment, and he's probably off of substance or whatever, but he's just in there, like he's tapped in.
People said that Frank Herbert, who wrote Dune, did it while on mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
So it's like, I never wrote a Dune. Maybe one day I'll write something like that. But
isn't it the case that the psilocybin mushroom with the stoned ape theory, right, that it produces a blue brew?
Yeah.
Like, just going off topic a little bit, but it produces like a blue liquid.
Yeah.
And historically it's been used as like a sacrament of sorts. And they say that in a short period of time, the brain size doubled.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no explanation. There's only theories about that, and you can't ever really empirically test it or prove it. And it's all speculations. It's like, what caused the brain to expand the way it did? And then there was another experiment where they replicated and reorganized the entire Tokyo subway system using mushrooms, essentially. And that just showed their intelligence and their cellular intelligence and the intelligence of mushrooms. So it's interesting.
And they say it too, right? That the psilocybin is meant to regenerate new cells and stuff, right? Like
reorganize itself.
Yeah, and then also like reduces or even completely obliterates fear.
Yeah, because fear is the mind killer.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. But I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
What was I gonna say? Man, there's like so much. But yeah, jump in. Come on.
I don't know. Like, I think I said everything. I think that's it for me for now. I think all I want to do now is I want to explore the video games. Like, there's a bunch of stuff, right? External media that we can cover and will cover, like from the movie-based games also, you know. From the first one, apparently there was a first one that came out for the PS1, or the PS2. There were plenty of them. PSP, you know, like cover all of the games and see how much they are similar and dissimilar. Do Hogwarts Legacy, and yeah, like I don't have anything else.
I guess I don't either. I guess I just want to say that I feel the same way you feel about everything, and watching this kind of like solidified it. It's like, I think that why we relate so much to Harry Potter is because of the whole transition and growing up that we see with all of them.
Yeah.
But this idea of, you know, going from someone like the boy in the cupboard that we meet in the first movie to what he becomes and grows into by the final film. And I feel like that's something that I've always struggled with, like kind of understanding that I have this power to do good, and everybody does, but like power to make a change and power to make an impact, because I just always resorted myself to whatever version the boy in the cupboard is for me, which is just this very insecure and I don't know, just not believing in myself like person in general, like just general feeling of not believing in myself.
Of like not belonging also.
Yeah, just like not being enough to do anything like that. So kind of just devaluing myself in that way. But then what all of this has like shown me and again, like I'm just someone who's like very kind of calculated with my feelings, because I don't like
it's okay though, you don't have to
be emotional and stuff, but
it's good to kind of like let it out, you know? It's all right.
Man, like I really do hold stuff in.
You don't have to.
Oh, but yeah. And it's something I'm still like growing into, you know, this person who's like talking on a camera and into a microphone. It's like sometimes it is still like trippy. It's
alien,
like,
yeah.
It's hard sometimes to like wrap my head around it. But like
I used to be a super shy kid too. Like I used to sit in the back of the class. I used to be very recluse.
No, but I you know what's funny is like I wasn't that at all. Like I was the kind of kid that I would just like talk to my teachers, and I would talk a lot, and there's a reason that my name is Gab, like right, like Gabriella, because I would just gab all day. It's like I would talk all day.
Oh, I know.
And I feel like what this journey has been for me is kind of like finding that spark in me again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I like just lost it kind of along the way. You know, just things that I convinced myself were the truth, and degrading myself a little, just being my biggest self-critic and taking other people's criticism very deeply. And like that's what this has been. It's just been like an opportunity to find that for myself and find like this new kind of like blossoming within myself, but then also to share it with other people and to maybe like just motivate one person or like inspire one person to kind of find that for themselves too. Because I spent so much time just like it feels like time wasted, but it's not wasted. It's just so much time, like so much time that we stalled, like everything that we were building together and stuff because of me.
No, but you shouldn't blame yourself, because like things happen the way they need to happen. You know, I don't think there are any mistakes in life, only happy accidents, you know? It's like that's what Bob Ross stands for. And I think that that's what you have to do with life. And I think that we both grew with these characters is my point. It's like we grew spiritually on a deeper spiritual level. We were growing as they were growing and evolving to the point of now grasping or trying our best to grasp concepts like selfless, unconditional love and things like that we have to master, you know, in this lifetime in order to live a truly great life. And watching these movies has been a key into that portal of transformation, you know?
Yeah, and like connecting with everybody that we have, like we've connected with, because we have our share, which we already like touched on, of like commenters who, you know, have just been kind of like a little bit nasty online and stuff.
Miserable people who find solace in other people's shared misery, right? It's trying to bring somebody down.
Yeah.
Because they cast a huge shadow of your own insecurities, right? Like we become a reflection of someone who's deeply insecure, who is trapped in their own misery, and then they see someone expanding their wings and learning how to fly, and they do so publicly on camera. And then those people, the first thing they do is they grab their pitchfork and they, you know, keyboard warriors essentially, you know, have nothing to live for, nothing to aspire towards, you know, just misery, you know. And I think that it's very suiting, like it's very good that people like that have exactly what they're promoting in the world.
Yeah.
So I think everything you do, I personally believe that the universe is mind. And what you think is what you are,
and what you like your thoughts are to reflect your reality. So if you feel that way, then your reality is gonna just be this dull, gray, kind of hateful, whatever place it is. But
and I just want to know, like, let people know that doesn't affect us anymore.
Yeah,
it used to at one point, but we cut it off quickly. So like now, if you do that, then you're only prolonging your own misery because you're just gonna get kicked off of the channel.
Yeah,
it's like we will delete you from the channel forever.
Because to my point is like,
because there's no value if you're not getting value.
Like
then
what matters and like what has like pushed me out of my comfort zone too, like aside from like Callie kind of like literally pushing me out of my comfort zone here. But it's like all of the comments that people leave, just like having these discussions with us and then just connecting with us and sharing these stories with us, that like there's been times where I like caught myself like having to just stop my day.
I've cried uncontrollably while reading certain things.
And just like, you know, just like hearing people share their vulnerabilities, and it's really crazy.
It is. Yeah, but it's very needed, especially in a time like this where the world is collapsing on itself. You know, it's riddled with darkness and negativity and panic and fear. I think that these types of videos is what keeps us creators going, and we are always just honored when we see that it keeps other people, viewers who are experiencing it and who love it and who say that it's the best thing ever, who say, you know, like these comments create, like, it's just so you guys know, every time I see any comment along those lines, it goes from like me living in my base reality of like deep imposter syndrome, deep insecurity, deep sense of like self-doubt and all this stuff. It goes from jumping a huge jump from that constant state, default state of being, to this like fairy tale land where it's like amazing. Really? Like you think it's amazing? Wow. It's like, and then it just like snaps me out of place a little bit.
Yeah, and I always tell people it's like, otherwise I would just feel like a knucklehead 99% of the time. But it's like the comments, they definitely, but then that's why hopefully people can feel that way just watching what we do. But then even, you know, when we respond back and stuff, like that's what I'm hoping. It's like to give you in return what you gave me, you know, and that's what I'm like, why I treat this with so much importance too. It's because I'm sitting down and I'm thinking about returning the favor, kind of. It's like you've uplifted me to even be in this position to speak and to be open and to feel kind of free in that way. And so how can I now like do right by that? You know, it's like do the best that I can by that.
And you do the best by sharing what excites you and what brings you joy, you know, which to me, it's always been learning as much as I can about symbolism, about esoteric philosophy, occult philosophy, religions, meaning of life guy. Like, that's who I am. It's the guy who wants to know the answer that everybody, one group claims they know it, the other person over there claims they know it, but what's the actual truth? Is there one truth? Are there many truths? Is it the 10,000 names, or is it the one name? And I'm just someone who always wants to bring that element to everything we do. So even when we experience like video games, we plan on, after we do a certain amount of playthrough, we're going to end the playthrough, but then we start our like post playthrough review. And we're going to take notes while we play video games. I don't know if that's been done before, but we're going to do it. And we're going to do a podcast where we like unlimited, just free flow conversations, maybe about more intimate aspects, about our personal lives growing up, who we are, what we've done in the past 10 years, 20 years as a human being, our experiences. And also things that excite us and that we think could be of value if we spoke about it and shared it. It's almost like when you get excited about learning something crazy and then you want to like text a friend, but like neither of us have friends.
Yeah.
So we have each other and we have you guys and we have YouTube, and we're going to just make all those three dance together, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we forgot to tell people about that.
Oh, yeah.
We bought that.
Platform in 9 3/4.
And we just set it up just for this reaction. And then once it's done, it's going to come down. But it's like, it was nice to have it. And it feels like I'm going to recreate one day that exact like first scene of them all meeting on the train.
Oh, yeah, we should film it.
It's like, I'm Ron Weasley.
Yeah, and then I'll get like a redhead wig and I'll do Ron.
And then he's like, I'm Harry Potter. And then it's like, you have the
scar.
The scar. And then he's like, oh, yeah. And then he like shows him like it's like such a cool thing.
Oh, yeah, this thing. I had it forever.
Oh, that's so fun.
But yeah, anything else so that we don't like...
No, that's it. I'm just like... I'm just happy that I got to watch this, and I'm just
me too
grateful for the whole, like, just the whole universe of it, just everything for the actors and the work that they've done, and
we're gonna do every book justice too. So on the podcast, for example, like we'll have an episode dedicated for maybe chapter 1, chapter 2. Like we don't know the format yet, if it's gonna be book 1 and try to tackle it in one episode. Probably not. But we'll put the chapters that we discuss, and then it's going to be a flow of like we have read those chapters, and then we take notes, and we took notes, and we made a whole kind of like collection and a structure for a show. And then we're going to do that, and then we're also going to talk about symbolism and interesting things, and like one episode is going to be focused on hyper focused on one object.
Yeah.
And then we're going to like tackle the history of that object and how it's made its way through popular culture and like what it means and what's its true meaning, what could it represent, and just have like a creative kind of like mind expanding introspective kind of show that like makes you question reality a little bit more, and hopefully equips you guys with the same kind of tools that we use in terms of like framework wise, in terms of what we've learned by like learning, you know, like reading and like experiencing life.
How we adapt these
how we filter these like movies. Yeah. It's the filter that all these movies pass through. Like we want to share what that filter is comprised of, meaning us, right, with you guys on a podcast.
Yeah. And then we could even do like leaving voicemails and stuff.
Yeah, voicemails.
Like, That would be really fun to like actually hear you guys talking to us, and then we get to talk to you back, and it's like that sounds like a lot of fun.
We will have a voicemail component, so look forward to that. We will be creating a Google Voice number, and then it's a toll-free number, and you guys will be able to call, and then you will be able to leave a voicemail. I don't know if there's a limitation on it, maybe 3 minutes if I'm not mistaken, but you're going to be able to leave your voicemail, leave a name or be anonymous and just give us a fake name, like whatever makes you feel comfortable. And then we're going to play your voicemail on the show, and we're going to react to it, and we're going to discuss whatever questions you have or whatever ideas you're presenting us or what you want us to talk about. Then yeah, so it's going to be fun. Like this, up until this point, all of the reactions have just been at the very beginning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like we just started scratching the surface, and we have like a whole...
There's so much to experience. There's so much to cover. There's so much fun to be had. And if you're about fun, if you want to have fun with us, then come on aboard. If you do not, then we're going to have to kick you off and make you walk the
Instant. Oh, I can't use this one. This one.
No, I have both of them.
No.
Oh my God, she like leaned towards both of them. Imagine. That was scary. I was like, just in, man. Pokes his wife's eye out.
With 2 magical wands.
1 magical wand.
Anyways.
All right. So the clock is almost running out for the camera. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, for joining us yet again on another Harry Potter universe related video. Many more to come. This is not the end. The end is always just the beginning, and the beginning is but a subtle reminder of the end.
Yes.
You know, because you have to have that subtle reminder. Invite death in to your family gatherings. Invite it. Treat
Memento
it well.
Mori.
Yeah. Remember always that you will die. Yeah. And keep it as a close friend. Like, don't be scared of it, because fear is the mind killer. And hopefully we all... I don't know.
Hopefully we all transcend the fear.
Transcend the fear.
That's it.
And become better because of it, and live this life filled with love, positivity, joy, harmony, union, growth, and never hatred and evil and whatever lower thing that I don't even want to say out loud. Yeah. All right. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. And don't forget that it's never wrong
to be mentally gone. Peace to the world.
And if you want to like, subscribe, and share this video, that's up to you. It helps the channel. Goodbye.
Bye.